everyone. Thanks for joining me on my podcast, Profit with a Plan. This is where you can get some great ideas to create your most profitable self and small business. Just so you know, financial planning isn't only for those that have a lot of money or run big companies. A workable financial plan is for us everyday small business owners and professionals that want to keep more of our hard-earned money and make great financial decisions. So join me, Marcia Reiner, your certified financial planner and financial business strategist, each Tuesday for some smart ideas that can add more profits to your bottom line. So this week I have been, first of all, last week was Memorial Day weekend and I enjoyed that off and took the week off. And then I came back because I took so many days off and I was stressing over my money. And so I wanted to share with you tonight a little bit of information on money and stress. So I thought this would be a great platform to do it on. You all know I'm really passionate about working with ambitious business owners who are working their ass off every day, making good money, but they don't have a lot to show for it. I help fix their cash flow really fast and increase their profits. And then I help them build wealth without sabotaging their business. So many of us have this experience of knowing that I make good money and I don't have a lot to show for it, and I take a flipping week off and all hell happens, right? And then you sit there and you start stressing about things. So that's why I really wanted to talk to you today about money and stress and see how maybe I can help you get a little bit better with your money and the stress that comes along with money. So I'm actually going to be I've been really thinking about this. So I'm actually going to be using this in some of my presentations and talks that I go out with and see how I can really support the small business community over their money and stress, because damn it, we're all stressing about it. Whether we're making millions, whether we're making thousands, whether we're making hundreds, we're still stressing about our money. So if you want to talk about this a little bit more, maybe a little bit more personally, I'd love to offer you a brief call with me. So get on my calendar. It's at calendly.com/Marcia-16. Yes, there are 16 Marcias on Calendly. So hey, let's get on with the podcast about money and stress. Why do we stress so much over our money? What's really the underlying cause of our stress and money? First of all, I think that the real part of stressing over money is that we don't have a real plan or a solid strategy that comes along with confidence, with success, with knowing and having that ability to think, hey, I'm going to make this okay. I talk about this in particular as I have this one client and she opened up her practice this last, we've been talking about it for years, and she finally launched it and she had her first month and she's totally panicked about her money until we ran the numbers, and then she gave me her month end number that was literally almost double what she anticipated coming in. And she had been so stressed over it all month long because even though we put a plan in place, she didn't have the faith or trust that that plan was going to do her any good. And she wigged out over it until she saw her numbers at the end of the month. And it was before any of her insurance claims came in. And she was like, oh my God, this is what I did. I'm going to be okay. And I'm like, well, yeah. Because I knew, I saw the plan, but she didn't have faith or confidence in her plan or strategy. So another reason why we stress over our business and our money so much is just the normal business owner stress. It's amplified when we talk about money. So, and honestly, I've been preaching to you guys for now 20 episodes that we constantly have money in everything that we do in our business, but we don't think about it until we look at the actual physical green stuff or the credit card receipts or the accounting of the money, or worse, we have to pay bills against that money that we start to really stress. So as a normal business owner, we stress over our money so much because it is amplified over the normal business stresses we have of marketing, employees, client, relations, and all the other crap that we have going on. But when it comes to the money, it's amplified. I'd have to say double, triple, 5 times, 10 times. You look at yourself and you ask, how much stress do you have over your money and your business money? It's quite a bit. So another reason why we stress over our money so much is that we only have single income sources. And I've been preaching this for a while now. I'm a big fan of having multiple streams of income that support the business. So if one service or one product or one piece of the business slows down a little bit, the house of cards does not tumble. We create multiple streams. Like in a service-based business, you've got to have maybe a web presence that brings business into you that could happen while you're sleeping. Maybe you own the property that you have, so that way the income from the tenants that are paying your property pay you income, and it makes your rent less. So those are just 2 simple income sources that can multiply what you do as a passion and as a business every month. Another way we stress over money is the cyclical nature of business. Now, if anybody's looked at the stock market recently, it's been going up and down and up and down and up and down, and a whole lot of downs, freaking out over what the president says, or, the not to date ourselves here, but the wall, and, what's going on here or what's going on there. And it just causes the market to hiccup and pull back. And even my 82-year-old mother that has limited cognitive ability calls me up and says, how are my accounts doing? So everybody stresses over the cyclical nature of business. There'll be good times, spring and fall, or summer and winter, and lower times. Maybe the holidays aren't so good, or maybe the holidays are great and summer's dead. We all have those cyclical natures of business that cause so much stress. Another stress that we have over our money is marketing challenges. We all face it. Where's our next client coming from? Where's our next piece of business, our next income source coming from, if we're not consistently creating a marketing strategy that's going to produce number of people coming in? I mean, my goodness, that was my gigantic stress over the last 2 weeks. I now have a grandbaby, and the grandbaby is welcomely living in my home with me, with my daughter. But it takes me away from my practice. And then I had 2 trips to travel on over the holidays, and it took me away from my practice. And I was super fine going on my trips and enjoying my grandbaby. But then when I come home, I start to panic over I didn't follow up on this piece, or I didn't have that marketing strategy going. So there's all these stresses that are constantly affecting my health, and it's normally over money, and I'm sure it is that way with you. And then the final thing that I can think of today, that why we stress over our money on a regular basis, is we've got too many expenses. Too much is going out each month, and it's not producing income, or it's not strategic, or it's not affecting the business in a positive way. So we stress over it. Oh my gosh, I've got to pay this and pay that and pay that. Many of us, even in our personal life, we've already paid out our paycheck or spent our paycheck before it even comes in, because of the expenses and the debts that we're servicing on a regular basis. And that just causes stress Do you feel my stress right now? Because honestly, I'm with y'all, and I've been stressing the last week over money, which I really shouldn't be. I'm doing well. I am doing well. And I'm sure you're doing well too. But just that little stuff that just gets into your back and into your muscles and starts making you worry. So speaking of, how does money stress affect your business? I really think that it affects our business in multiple ways. The first way is really on our personal level. Like I said, I've been struggling and I'm thinking, and I'm sure you have. It hits me personally. Now, I tend to keep all that inside unless I'm talking to y'all, but I tend to keep all that inside and let it just fester. Well, sometimes I snap at my assistant, or I snap at my daughter who just moved in, or I just wear it so challengingly on the outside, and I think I'm keeping it on the inside. So I think money affects my personal well-being. It affects my employees. And if I take it out and draw the circle, drop the rock in the pond and watch the circles go out bigger, it affects my family and all the morale that we have if I'm worried and I'm stressing over money. I think it also affects the clients that we're talking to. There's a little bit of something that comes out when you are worried about where your next client's coming from or the money you've got to have. And if you're a little bit more, I need you client because I got bills to pay, your client's going to feel that urgency, and it's going to anticipate the stress that you're having, and they may pull a Heisman on you and say, whoa, I'm not quite ready yet, especially when you need that money coming in. So money and stress affects you personally, your staff, your family, and it even affects your clients because you may think you're covering it up really well, but that kind of stress just bubbles out around you. It fills your aura. It emanates in your sweat. It just comes out. And I can promise you, your clients feel it. And they'll be a little bit more hesitant to work with you when you're needy, right? So another way that stress affects our business, and I know you're feeling it right now because I'm emanating the stress, are poor decisions that are made when we start chasing the money. Maybe we make a poor marketing decision. Maybe we cut a deal to a client. Maybe we try and squeeze out, pay minimum payments on our credit because we're trying to stretch the money out. There's so many poor decisions that are made with our money when we're stressed. It's the worst place you ever want to be in because money stress does affect your business in big ways. So how is it affecting your business? And I want you to think on that a little bit. And over the things that I've said here in the few minutes that we've been talking about it, money eats away at the business and at the profits because we're worried about it. And there's oftentimes we try not to worry about it, but we worry about it anyways. I keep saying over and over and over, and this is kind of a canned joke, and hopefully not everybody's heard it time in and time out and time again. But when we're small business owners, we get to choose any 100 hours that we work a week, right? We're not 40 hours, 8 to 5, we drop it off. We're in our business every single minute of the day. Chances are we're in our business at night when we go to sleep. Chances are we're in our business when we, go grocery shopping or hang out with the kids and you're at soccer and you're thinking, oh my God, I got all this stuff to do. We worry about our business. And if you add money stress to it, it's even bigger. And much of that can affect our sleep and our stress, and we don't get the rest we need so we can recharge and get going. I mean, I don't know how many times I've worried about trying to put a square peg into a round hole. And I know you all can agree with me on that one. It's constantly trying to fit something, fix something, make it all work out. And oftentimes it's wrapped around our money, and we stress over it more. So we know now that money affects our life, affects our business, affects our health. And how do we find ways to reduce our money stress, which is something I've been innerly focusing on? And I had a chance to go back, and I would encourage you to go in, because we're hitting that midpoint in the year where it's time to kind of touch on that plan again. You know me, I'm all about creating a solid financial plan so things can happen as they're supposed to happen and stress can go down. So I would encourage you to go back. If you haven't created a solid financial plan yet, why haven't you? But I'd say let's revisit that plan and make sure we're on track. And we've had some opportunities to make adjustments or tweaks because we're coming up on that mid-year cycle, right? And it's time to make sure that that plan is being revisited or created and set in a way that it'll take some of the stress off you, because you have a strategy that will help you move through the next quarter, the next month, the next week. Holy cow, tomorrow, right? So work on that plan, and that will help reduce some of the money stress you have. And that plan, as I've said many, many times, is everything. So as part of that plan, look at how you can create some multiple streams of income. So that way you're not all dependent upon that one service, that one widget, that one piece of money coming in that, if for whatever reason, cyclical or challenges or market or stress or holidays or whatever comes in and causes that money stream to slow down, that you've got other sources to help do that. And that's an amazing way to get money stress to go down. Another way to make sure that we can reduce money stress is, please, in times of money stress, we tend to look for ways that we can cut corners to save money. That's the worst thing that you can do. I, as an experience, for years would go and learn about a skill and try and do it myself, and I would spend hours recreating something that I really had absolutely no business doing myself as a business owner. My time is so valuable. Your time is so valuable. Don't take your accounting on and think you're going to save money by not paying the accountant and doing it yourself, right? You're just asking for a load of trouble. Don't take your marketing on and try and do it yourself, because you're taking away from your best valuable dollar by cutting corners to save money. And that's the worst thing you can do. Actually, it's a perfect time when you're really stressed and worried about money to reinvest in yourself and reinvest in your business. And a great way to reinvest in your business is to ask for help from professionals and partners. Now, partners could be joint ventures. Right now, I'm working with several joint venture partners to grow my business. And that means shared stages. That means shared ideas, shared products, shared clients. There's tons of shared partners. There's also the professionals that know their business, and you shouldn't be dabbling in it. So maybe you need a coach. such as me or any other coach. Maybe you need that accountant to help you with your numbers. Maybe you need that marketing person to do the marketing to grow your business so you cannot do the things that you have. So don't be afraid when you're stressed about money to reach out to the professionals and ask for help. And ask your partners for help, those joint venture partners, those power partners, those people that can support you and help you. It's a beautiful way of getting things done, and it may not even cost you any money. You may be able to trade, right? So there's trading, bartering opportunities with partnerships as well. I would encourage you, as another way to reduce money stress, to go about and take care of the fountain that feeds the world, right? I think of myself as a fountain for my family and for my business. If my water stops and dries up, I can't help anybody. So I would encourage you to go take a walk in the middle of the day, take your lunch and go for a spin, right? Do a little exercise in the morning. Maybe you're an exerciser at night, but do some exercise to calm the stress, clear the brain. You know, it allows you to refocus and get everything going in the right direction. Always eat right, eat clean. I'm a big fan of eating clean. However, I have a very mean slice of cheesecake with some strawberries on top waiting for me when I finish this podcast. So eat your salad and then eat your cheesecake, right? We all got to do what we got to do. Use other tools to help reduce stress. I've recently bumped into someone who I was very, 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 very leery about listening to this program, but she gave me this little round disc to put on my skin to help reduce stress. And I have to say, with becoming a very, very, very young grandma, having my young daughter and her new baby move back into the house, having the challenges of running a business, just being overwhelmed with life in general, by putting this silly little patch on my skin and relaxing a little bit, it has helped with my stress tenfold. Amazing. I was able to tolerate the chaos around me, the stresses around me, a whole lot better because I looked at other tools to help me with my stress. I'm not selling any product here, but you know what? If you ever want to know about this silly little disc that goes on your skin and helps bring down the stress so you can smile at your 7-week-old grandbaby and daughter in a chaos full of house, then hit me up because this stuff is crack. I'm loving it. So thank you to my friend Therese for hooking me up and insisting that I try it when I was so stressed out. So thank you, Therese. Anyways, so exercise, eat right, use tools to reduce those stresses, and find ways to calm the inner self. It may be meditation, it may be a punching bag, it may be a damn slice of cheesecake, whatever it is, you've got to take stress and grab it and squash it down. The final way that we can reduce stress with our money is to take action. I was talking to my accountability partner on Monday morning, and I was talking about, oh my gosh, I got this, I got that, yuck, just unburdening myself, and her job is to listen and give me guidance, and I flip and do the same for her. And she goes, get out and do that. And I'm like, duh, but I wasn't doing it. So I thank my friend Dana for giving me the guidance to go out and do what I need to do instead of sitting there and worrying and finding and doing the things that I wasn't doing. So I encourage you to reduce the money stress, have a plan. Create those streams of income. Don't cut corners. Ask for help. Do the right things to reduce stress, including, other tools and food and health and sleep and all that kind of stuff. And then, damn it, take action. Go do what you said you were going to do. Go do what you want to do. Go challenge yourself. Because when you challenge yourself, you achieve greater things and stress goes away. How's that for a cool thing? So my final piece tonight that I wanted to talk about, and this is a little, out there maybe, is I believe that money is energy. And energy is all around us. And I'm a firm believer in the law of attraction. And so I encourage you to think about how the law of attraction will help you in your business to reduce money and stress, or to increase money and reduce stress. So let me give you a little bit of definition of what the law of attraction is, because I'm sure we've all heard about it, but have we really thought about it? It is the attractive magnetic power of the universe that draws similar energies together. It manifests through the power of creation everywhere and in many ways. Even the law of gravity is part of the law of attraction. This law attracts thoughts, ideas, people, situations, and circumstances. So I think that good energy attracts good energy. Feeling confident makes you attract other confidence, and your clients see that confidence. When you're dating, you seem to be interesting to other people, right? But when you're not dating, you're awfully lonely, right? Okay, I want you to think about this one in many, 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 many ways. When you're exercising, you feel more energy and you can exercise harder. These are all laws of attraction. It's that magnetic power that draws things that are similar together. So if we think about the money we're doing and we act in the way that we need to act to increase our money, the stress will go down because the money will start to come. And I know this is a little woo-woo, but I want you to really think positively about your business, about your next client, about the stress you're facing. If we get back into the stress of everyday business and we start worrying about our money, the money will not come to us. But if we open ourselves up and we will the money to come, and we act in a way that we're already receiving that money, then the money will come and the stress will go down. If we live and act with the clients that we have, more clients will attract to us. It's all attraction. And I think as a huge part, and why I'm bringing this up to you, is that the law of attraction and the fact that money is raw energy that we're just exchanging with people for our value and for trade and so on, I think it's part of the attraction, and that it will reduce our stress. So having a little bit of clarity in our client, product, or solution creates an attraction to those that need it, right? It allows our message to be attractive and therefore bring in new clients with more money, and more money means less stress, and you can pay those bills, and you can do the next project, and you can do the stuff that you want to do because you are open and you are receiving and you are energetically requesting that money to come in. Now, don't get me wrong. You cannot just will money to come to you. You have to be willing that money to come to you, and then you have to take action. You have to do something to make the money come to you. So it's not just, I'm going to meditate and I'm going to will and all this money is going to come my way, because I'm calling BS on that. But if you are energetically ready to receive and you are prepared, and then you are doing the steps that you need to do. I think I even spoke about this in one of my earliest podcasts. Opportunities only come to those that are prepared. Preparing and being open and being ready for it will attract the money and will attract more business and will allow your stress to fall. I hope that wasn't too woo-woo for you, but I love this stuff, and I think it's so essential for all of us to really have a good grasp on. So thank you so much for listening today. I hope you found an idea or two to put into your business that will help you feel more in control. And when you're in control, you're more profitable. So if you'd like to know specifically how I can help you, I'd love to sit down and chat with you. Let's schedule one of my Jumpstart calls. And this is a brief 30-minute call where we get together and I look for gaps that you have. And that's my superpower, is looking for those gaps and understanding how I can help move you forward. So jump on my calendar at calendly.com/Marcia-16. Yep. And get on with me for a complimentary half hour, and let's see what I can find for you. So I'd love to hear any of your questions, feedback, ideas for future shows. You can reach me on any of my social channels, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram at Bella Financial, or Marcia Reiner, or my website, bellafinancialgroup.com. There's also a place for you to sign up right there too. So don't forget to subscribe to this podcast. You won't want to miss future episodes. And please make sure I'm not the best kept secret. Share this podcast with your friends. And if you do follow me, I'll give you my Get Financially Organized workbook as well. So you can catch Profit with a Plan on any of your favorite podcast players. Looking forward to more great, profitable information on next week's show. And until then, make your plans and profit with it. Thanks for listening.